Hi there, I'm Ray Glasser with another edition of the Cleveland Tech Report. What we have here on this wall is a portion of my videotape library, all in the Betamax format. And tonight's Cleveland Tech Report show is going to be about organizing and collecting a videotape library using my own library as an example. We're going to look over things like how to label tapes, how to number them, organize them, categorize them, so forth and so on in this Tech Report. To begin with, at least in my own personal collection, I don't label or number the boxes. I label and number the tapes. The reason for this is boxes and tapes can get mixed up and shifted around over the years, and there's no sense not knowing what's on what. I've actually color-coded my tapes over the years, blue being for TV shows and red for movies, such as what we have right up here. Now, if I've taped something off the air and I know when I taped it, I put a date on here in a small green label maker 1/4-inch tape. For example, the movie Bug, Hour 1 and Hour 2. Since I collect on the beta format, mostly at the industrial beta 1 speed, which gives you a very, very good picture. Most movies do take 2 tapes, Hour 1, Hour 2. So here we have Bug, Hour 1 and Bug, Hour 2 on a red label and with a green Dymo 1/4-inch tape under it with the date. Over here's a TV show, which I taped way back in 1976, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, a classic, pretty hokey Irwin Allen series from the mid-1960s. Now this is on a blue tape because this is in fact a TV show. Now again, I have dates on both of these tapes, actually all these here, because I know when they were taped. Now here's an example of some tapes that have no dates on them. This is the syndicated TV show Starlost, which was produced in Canada back in the early 1970s and syndicated at the same time. Now this I probably got from somebody else in a mail trade. I did not tape this myself, and I had no idea when the thing was taped. So I just put the label on the center of the tape, centered both up and down and from left to right, again with no date. Again, here are some examples of movies that I had taped by me for somebody else, and I didn't know the dates that they were taped. Hence, just the title of the movies on the tape, again with no date. Now, as I mentioned, I use red and blue Dymo label tapes for the titles of movies and TV shows. Now, anything that does not fit either of those two categories gets a green tape, such as this tape number 305, the 1980 presidential debate between Carter and Reagan. This was not a weekly TV series or a movie, therefore this particular kind of tape gets a green label. Another example of a green label tape is a tape made off a video camera, such as my wife and I 1981 LA Las Vegas vacation. Cable TV shows made for cable shows also get a green label, such as HBO's The Time of Our Lives from 1983. Now, aside from using these small 1/4-inch Dymo labels for dates in green, I have another use for them yet. If I've got multiple episodes of a TV series, such as this English import called UFO, and I've got more than 4 or 5 tapes of the same series, I have to know what episode is on what tape, since they are all 1 episode per tape, since again I'm collecting at the beta X1 speed. Well, here's where I use a black 1/4-inch Dymo label tape so I can see the title of the episode on each tape, as I've done here. Now, all this stuff might seem somewhat complex to you, but actually it's quite simple. You have either a movie or a TV show, so therefore you have either a red or blue label, you have a date or no date, or you have a green label for a camera tape or a special cable type of show. Now all this was fine when all we had was beta 1, the 1-hour speed. Now when beta 2 came out in 1978, this complicated things even more for me. What I had to start doing when people began collecting on beta 2 and getting rid of their old beta 1 machines is putting a small 2 in the upper left-hand corner to indicate that the tape was recorded at beta 2 and I could not play it back on a beta 1 machine. Consequently, when beta hi-fi came out, I had to find a way to now label my tapes that were recorded in beta hi-fi at the beta 2 speed. So here we have a very, very tiny beta hi-fi logo underneath the 2 on this particular Sony high-grade tape. To make matters even more confusing, I also collect in beta 1 stereo, regular 2-track stereo, not beta hi-fi. Those tapes have a large S on the left side to indicate stereo. So here we have S for stereo, up here we have a 2 for beta 2, and we also have beta hi-fi right up here. The library is getting more and more complex as the years are wearing on. So, that's basically how I actually label my tapes with titles, dates, so forth and so on. Beta 1 versus Beta 2, Beta Hi-Fi versus Stereo, so forth and so on. Now what about numbering tapes? Some people actually categorize their tapes by what type of movie or TV show they're collecting. They might have M1, M2, M3 for movies and T1, T2, T3 for TV shows, maybe C1, C2 for camera tapes, so forth and so on. My own personal method is merely numbering, as we used to call in the military, 1 up. All the way up from number 1, straight up and down the line. Just like this. No surprises, nothing fancy, just a straight system of numbering, all the way from number 1 up. As far as taking care of the inside of the tapes, I play it pretty straight on my labels. Most of the information on my inner labels show the title of the TV show or the movie, when it was taped, what channel it came from, what speed it's at, and whether it's a master off the air or a dub, in other words a copy. So that basically covers the labeling of the tapes inside and out. Now by now you might be having a question or two. For example, why do I store my tapes the wrong way? All the manuals say store them like this, vertically, up and down. This way something about there's less tension going on the bottom hub of the tape or something like that. Well, for one thing, when I walk across my library and I want to see what's on a tape, I don't want to have to cock my head on an angle to see what the heck's on it. I like to be able to read them right across, and this is the way they've always been stored. Plus the fact, my father built for me in the last couple of years these nice storage boxes made of simply pressed wood that hold 12 Betamax tapes, 12 slots, 1 slot per tape, and they're working out really, really good. Now, one more thing about collecting a video library or organizing one. Once you have the tapes on the wall and you know what is where, how do you go about putting them down on paper? There's actually many, many different ways on how to do this. And again, it's up to you. One nice thing about home video is very, very personalized. You can tailor make everything any way that you want it. You can collect whatever you want, erase whatever you don't want. You can organize your library any way that suits you the best. And that's one nice thing about home video as a hobby. Well, what I've done, and what many people have done as well over the years, is to have what we call a video library on paper. Because back in the mid and late 1970s, before the dawn of your neighborhood video store or your pre-recorded tape market, you couldn't get anything on tape unless you traded with other people, usually by mail. And to do that, you had to offer a friend something in exchange if you wanted to get something for yourself. So myself and a lot of other people traded tapes by mail in the late 1970s and even in the early 80s to build up a collection as big and as vast as this. And I'm going to show you now different ways of organizing a video library collection. This is my current video library, which I've been updating since 1977 or so. I've actually got mine categorized by different sections, such as horror, sci-fi, and fantasy movies, action, adventure, and drama movies, comedy movies, my James Bond collection, pilot TV movies, pilot TV shows, TV specials, so forth and so on. Now, what do I have in my library? Well, basically not too much. An indication of quality, such as those B pluses and B minuses and all that stuff there, the title of the episode or the movie, whatever it might be, and then some possible notes on it if there's some kind of special information I have to give you about that particular show. Other people do it, of course, other ways, and here are some examples of that. This person here, for example, gives you the format, which of course is NTSC, or our American TV system, the medium, whether it's beta or VHS, the source, what TV channel it came from, the number of the tape in his library, and then of course the title on the far right. This person here's got his library by category, and he only has numbers, titles, and quality indications. This person here has only title and comments. That's it. This person here is kind of like me, likes both TV shows and movies, and he has a very, very complex system of telling you what's on each tape. Let's kind of go into this real quick. Let's check out something like Damnation Alley with all that 2BL7C91 after it. The 2 stands for second generation copy, meaning it's not right off the air, it's a copy of something off the air. The B means beta format. L means long play, in this case the beta 2 speed. 7 is quality, anywhere from 10 to 1, 7 being about a C quality. C means color, and 91 means 91 minutes. That's the running time of this particular feature. So as you can now see, to many people, there's a lot more to home video than just going out to the neighborhood video store and renting a couple tapes for the weekend. Collecting tapes, building a library is also part of the hobby for many, many people. And by the way, not that many people that I know of at least have over 700 tapes. I'm sure that you probably don't. But as time goes on, and as you do find things to save and things that will be never repeated on TV, you'll find that a library will definitely grow. Many people collect, or rather have their library on small 3x5 index cards or inside their home computer. They don't have to have titles on each tape. Many people put titles on boxes or numbers on boxes or maybe like a number on a tape. Again, home video is very, very individualistic. You can do anything you want with it. And that, of course, does include the way that you want to organize your own videotape library. But again, those of us that have been in home video since the 1970s, a lot of us do have collections this big because, like I said earlier, back in the early days, so to speak, there was nothing to rent at your local video store because there was not a local video store. You had to build a collection by yourself with the help of some of your friends. This is Ray Glasser with another edition of the Cleveland Tech Report. We'll be seeing you again real soon. Good night now.